Art facilities for the national champions from 68 countries who for the past 4 days have been trying to qualify for one of the 5 places in this year's stepladder finals. Hello, I'm David Goldstrom, together with tournament director Bernard Gibbons. Coming up, the men's final. But first, back to the present. Mario, a keen swimmer when he's not bowling, right-handed. He's been preparing for this day for the past 11 years. 11 times he's struck a perfect 300.
Pues sí, yo creo que ya tengo un poco más de confianza y espero hacer mejor las cosas para lograr el campeonato.
Twice before, in 1991 and 92, 38-year-old Changming Yang finished 4th in the World Cup. Now the reigning World Masters champion has the chance to complete a rare double. This is how he's been preparing.
我差不多在早晨或者是傍晚的时候打球的。
可以停几个小时？几个小时？
差不多平均有2-3个小时。
Well, here's a clue the finalists don't get. This is the graph that shows how much and where the oil conditioner is laid down on the lane. The bottom line being closest to the bowlers, the other two further down the 60-foot lane. All they have, of course, is just a couple of balls to test out where the oil is at its thickest and to find that line. Well, it's the man in #1 position who's chosen to go first, and that, of course, is Changming Yang, the spinner. Again, 2 different styles. This is the man with the lighter ball. And 1 pin stood proud.
Yes, indeed, the 5 pin, and here we see again the action of the spinner bowler where he gets the thumb, turns around the back, gets the fingers out, thumb really pushes it down the lane, gets the spin. In this case here, he nearly got it. The 5 pin is still rocking away there. Uses a different ball for the spares, but cleans up. Interesting decision for him to start now on the left lane. I would have thought that he would have started on the right lane to give himself the double frame start. However, his decision. So it'll now be Mario Quintero from Mexico, his first ball in this stepladder final. Good release. Yes, just couldn't see the action from behind his hand, but certainly got plenty of action on it. Here we can see the slow motion replay. 10 pin is about to stay up, but unfortunately it gets a little tap. Or fortunately for Mario.
I was going to say, what do you mean unfortunately? Oh, unless you've already decided to take sides with Changming.
No, not yet. No, it's only 1 frame gone and 9 more to go.
We're strictly neutral here. Now, Mario.
Oh, it's very wide, very wide. He knew himself once he let it go. He gets his hand really under the ball at address when he's got it cupped underneath. Gets it out there, because such a tall guy, he slows it, tries it down the lane, went too far and left the 1, 2, 4 and 10. Now he's got to make sure he tries to convert this, so he's got to try and get the 1 pin on the left side. Wrong side.
Wrong side, and that's an open frame.
Here you see it hits the head pin 2 head on, and just clips out the 1 and 2 and leaves the 4 and 10 still standing. Not a very good start.
No, it's not a very good start, and of course he has the ambition to emulate Alfonso Rodriguez, the last man to win this prestigious event for Mexico back in 1985 in Seoul. And Cheng here, well, he's trying to follow in the footsteps of Yu Tianchu. He won it in 1983, ironically in Mexico City, 15 years ago.
And we get a chance to see the slow-mo. You see the way the wrist comes out of the ball, spinning it down, gets it onto the 1-3 pocket. Lots of action.
This man who only took up the sport at the age of 29, 9 years ago. But he's already gained the World Masters title, which he holds currently. And I can't think of anybody who's ever won the 2 at the same time. And he hits another strike.
Very consistent all week long. he has been very consistent. Again, a good opportunity close up here to watch the way the wrist, watch the way it turns around. You see that fingers come out that way down the lane, and the ball has plenty of power.
Quintero. And again.
Talk about going off the boil. That's just what's happened to Mario. He shakes his head, he's wondering. And so is everybody here wondering, because he's been certainly a big favorite with all the crowd here. 3, 4, 6, 7, 10 pins left is half of what's supposed to be there.
Well, you're right, Bernard, because he had a great round robin, the semi-final. Won 6, lost 2, but that was arguably the best stats of anybody amongst the 8 who were in competition at that particular time. Better than Changming, in fact.
He's going to have to get himself into gear here quickly, because now we're into the 4th frame, and he's already had the openers in 2 and 3, so he needs to definitely make sure he closes this either with spare or strike.
And he just can't get this right at the moment, Bernard.
No, he's betwixt and between. He keeps trying it in one direction. Here you can see it's diving in very quick, right in on top of the head pin, straight through. And look at that, the big 4 of the 4, 6, 7, and 10 pins. Definitely must take 2. He had a little try for the flick across, but definitely made sure of 2 anyway. Not a great start.
And he's done so well to get this far in his first World Cup final. On the other hand, Changming coming up, well, he's knocked on the door before. 4th time in the Bowling World Cup. He was 4th in Beijing in China in 1991, and again 4th in France in Le Mans in 1992. Well, whatever happens, he's of course guaranteed to finish higher than that position. But there's only one real prize here, and that's the winner. There's nothing for second.
Well, just the trophy, but the main prize. Now, the 2-7 little baby split, left-hand side. No bother to Changming Yang. And that puts him in quite a good commanding lead now in this final match.
It's that Masters tournament that he won back in 1995, the FIQ World Championships in Reno, held quadrannually. So that's how he still holds on to that title. This, of course, is an annual competition.
Well, not so good that time. Got a little bit of a deflection, leaves the 2-4-8. And as you just rightly said, his 4th time in the World Cup, and it just shows you the standard. He's been 4 times in the stepladder as well, which is an amazing feat in itself. Now, needs to hit it straight on. Oops, nope.
And did that sleep and stay?
It did. Left the 8 pin, I'm afraid. As we'll see here, even though he gets it, it's just too far on the right side. There we go, flicks over. And leaves the 8 pin.
Well, what would Mario give for a strike now? Well, he's got it, but perhaps what I should have said, Bernard, is that he actually needs a run of strikes.
He certainly does, but a lovely ball this time. Got it in the right spot on the lane and right into the pocket. Gives him strike in the 5th. But he certainly needs to back that up with a couple more, or more than a couple more. Once again, it's throwing it too far out on this left-hand lane, and it's not coming back to the pocket for him. Out there, 2 pin nearly goes, but still standing.
I'll tell you what, he's wearing a little golden owl as a luck charm, but it's gone to sleep, I think, a little bit. It's a night owl.
Night owl.
So Mario spares off the 6, but he's still 30 pins off the pace. Pin stands tall.
Went to a different side that time on this lane. He went down more left-hand side for his strike shot. Doesn't take a lot of time for those spares, if you notice. Oof. And maybe he should have taken more time, because
I think he's just got away with that.
Let's just have a look at this in slow motion. It certainly looks like it's lost it at this stage, but by the thinnest of margins.
If that had gone in the gutter, even if it had come out again, it wouldn't have counted. But as it is, he scrapes a spare, and maybe that's despair for Mario.
Still keeps him in front. There he's gone down the right side this time. You can see the difference there. He changed his angle down on the right-hand side in frame 7 and gets himself a strike. Watch it again. It's amazing watching that ball. You can watch it all day. Just watch the action of those pins.
Just amazing the way it runs along the front of the pins. Incredible. But then sends the energy across to the left at the same time.
No, once again, puts it down. He's so much revolutions on the ball. He's so tall and he's so strong that he puts the ball in the lane, and it's working when it hits the... As soon as it hits the pins, it's working, but as soon as it hits the lane, it's also gripping. And he's left himself the 3, 6, and 10 over there on the right-hand side. And again, be careful.
With his luck, this is missable.
And that looks better. So he cut it down and came back. Safe as a house, as the fellow would say. He's still 30-odd pins adrift. A urgent need for strikes for Quintero. Yes. Very good shot, that deep into the pocket. Plenty of power when it hit there. Watch the action off this, and the ball just gets itself dug in there. 10-pin tries to stay, no chance.
Yes, he really is a power player, and when he's on song, he's magnificent to watch. Really hurtles that 16-pound ball down the lane.
And there's no chance that Changming Yang would throw a 16-pound ball the way that they release it. Once again, yeah, you see, you can call it when it's just down the lane. He knows, I know, when looking at it there, pins have no chance once that ball starts rocketing towards the pocket. Here we can see it again. It just, the pin action is incredible.
And just like a runner in a way, approaching the last couple of 100 meters of the race, he's just beginning to kick and move away. Well, he certainly is now.
Yes. Very, very difficult to beat. And here we can see this wonderful action of the ball. Very, very few people have actually copied this, or even, well, lots have tried, but very difficult. But watch again the action. It's amazing.
You say that Quintero has been popular with the crowd and the fans, but so has Chen. There've been plenty watching his matches and applauding his expertise. Mario, yet another. How many splits has he had in this? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hard to believe, isn't it, after all the weeks playing, that he can play so well and then suddenly come out. And I mean, it's got to be disappointing for him as well to be here in front of all of the people on the television. But it's happening right here.
Well, the saddest thing for many of you who maybe won't have seen any of his earlier games, that this is arguably his poorest match of the whole week, and that's so sad, because he is a much, much better player than you're seeing now.
Oh, by far a much better player.
And Chen knows that he's got this.
As I say, a strike too late.
But it's also a matter of being consistent. You can't afford open frames, and you've got to make sure that if you can't get strikes, that you do get those spares.
Vitally important. Spares are so, so important. His 11th frame. Look at that. I mean, but he doesn't need them. They're coming.
The pressure's off. He knows it's gone. He suddenly relaxes, and the strikes flow. But his undoing, I'm afraid, the open frames in 2, in 3, and in 4, and that's where he's really lost this title chase.
Yes, too far. At the beginning, he certainly lost it there. Those splits in frames 3 and 4 did him no favors at all. He finishes off there with a 7 count. That only gives him a game of 152, which has really got to be his lowest game of this year's Bowling World Cup.
Well, it is, and he's averaged 211, so he's got to be bitterly disappointed with that. But here's, you can see for yourself, there's Cheng, strikes in the 8th and 9th, and already 144 points. And thank you very much. That's another one. Wraps it up.
You know, watching him here all week bowling, every game he was bowling in the 230s, in the 220s, 230s, all the incredible, absolutely, very, very few mistakes. And it's one of those balls, and we keep saying this about the spinner ball, that it does make very few mistakes. If you can master it, well and good. Looks good too.
Absolutely amazing. He's not going to finish anywhere near the highest ever stepladder high of 278, but as you said, Bernard, it's this consistency of putting in 230s game after game that's got him there.
And it's also, don't forget the number of practice games he plays as well. Don't forget this is his 4th time in the World Cup and his 4th stepladder final. And a strike here would give him a 244. He leaves the 5 pin, so that gives him a game of 233.
81 pins, the margin of victory. A disappointing performance by Mario, but take nothing away from this man. He really does deserve the World Cup title. And in a moment, the presentation he's been waiting for, not just this week, but for many, many years. And here he is with the World Cup, presented to him by Mr. Akagi, the president of the World 10-Pin Bowling Association and the chairman of the organising committee. For the record, these are the final positions. And these are the thoughts of Changming Yang.
我认为当一个选手不打球要打球，当国家队当然是要尽力而为，然后能打，今天能这么好的成绩，都是我们的领队教练照顾之下，让我们能安心的打球。所以说这次能有这种成绩，都是大家的功劳。谢谢。
Many congratulations.
Pues sí, para eso me había preparado para tener una buena actuación aquí y la tuve. Yo pensé que podía ganar, pero pues no se pudo y estoy contento con mi segundo lugar, pero me hubiera gustado.
Changming Yang and Maxine